Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. For a long time now, I've wanted to make videos about being a manager, becoming a manager. What is it like to work as a manager? Fun fact, I've been a manager for about 4 years now, which is weird because I never talk about it on this channel. I always find it hard to kind of distill my thoughts into a video, which is why I've always kind of abstained from talking about it. It's mostly due to I don't know how. I've actually been playing around with it a little bit on Clubhouse. Interesting application. Twitter Spaces. I think I like it a little bit more. And I kind of enjoy the conversational approach of talking about being a manager because a big part of being a manager is talking. But I recently had a friend pose the question, should managers code? And I promised him I'd give him a response video. This is it. But I'm going to kind of expand the question a little bit more broadly and ask the question, what is the biggest mistake new managers make? And the answer to that is the question that he posed, which is to code. So to expand on that, when you are an IC, an individual contributor, you are coding every day, except for meetings, and who likes meetings? Managers. Managers like meetings. But when you're an IC, you do not like meetings. And that's your day-to-day. That's how you evaluate your success and your progress in both yourself and your career. When you become a manager, you are no longer evaluated on the code that you write, because 9 times out of 10, you will not be writing any code. And that's a weird shift to make, where for how many years you've been coding, 3, 5, 7, 10, to go from coding every day to then not coding every day is very tricky to do. And that's honestly the biggest mistake that new managers make, is they try to hold on to what was familiar, comfortable, and what they knew and did best, while transitioning to a role that has an entirely different set of responsibilities and things you're supposed to do. And it's human behavior to just kind of cling to the familiar and kind of run away from the change. At a certain point, your responsibilities as a manager will grow to a certain extent where they take up the majority of your day. And the mistake that happens there, most of your days are doing manager things, planning, one-on-ones, coordination, sprint planning, project planning, all those things. If those, after a certain point, take up the majority of your day, and you're still trying to code, you're trying to do 2 days worth of work in one day, which is the fastest way to burn out. I should know. I did that initially when I first became a manager because, again, I am human, I am not special, and I made that mistake, and I'm trying to kind of warn you a little bit about that as well. And the big fix to that is to find ways to first acknowledge that's an issue. If you are coding while manager, you're going to have a very stressful time because you'll be trying to do 2 things, and you'll be doing 2 things poorly. So how do you start transitioning off of your IC responsibilities? That's where you kind of put your manager hat on and kind of start delegating and start pushing those tasks away from you so you have more time to focus on the manager tasks. Learning how to become a manager itself is like another video. I'm not going to talk about that because it's multiple videos, probably a continuous video. It's just a live feed. It's my life. It's my life. It's my life. But you have to stop coding when you're a manager. Some companies, I'm sure, expect managers to code. As long as you are given the support and the time needed to do that, then that's fine. However, you're trying to squeeze 2 roles into one as a manager who codes, you will probably fail. So don't do that. Try to just focus on the skills that you need to learn to become a good manager. Honestly, one of the hardest things about letting go of coding is that your way of measuring your success goes away. You can no longer say that I finished 4 tickets, I wrote 5,000 lines of code, I feel good about myself today. That's going to go away, and you have to start saying, I abstractly planned the next month of the team's work, but like nothing's happening yet. You're just making plans. And it's like, how do you know if that's good or not? And it takes a while to kind of ramp up that intuition and your comfort in having those metrics be the way in which you evaluate your own personal success. It's hard, it's awkward. You will have steps forward, steps backwards. But again, you can't develop that skill if you're still holding on to coding. So let go of the keyboard and then pick it up because you still have to type on Jira tickets. But that's kind of the game. So that's the biggest mistake that I made when I became a manager. And hopefully, if you are thinking about becoming a manager, it's a thing to keep in mind. If you have just become a manager, it's a thing to also listen to my voice. I think it's always so hard to kind of teach experience because experience is best learned through the experience of it. It's hard to tell somebody, it's easy to tell somebody a stove is hot. Sometimes people have to touch it and get burned before they realize that is true. Curious on your thoughts about this video? Curious how many manager watching people I have out there. I think my channel is mostly coding, which is fine. I love coding. This channel keeps me young at heart as a coder when most of my day job is just managing. So I'm curious, how many managers out there are you? Are you there? Let me know in the comments. I want to see, and also curious if you want more videos like these of me talking as a manager and any questions you might have of me as a manager. I'm actually a director now. I got promoted, so I'm a manager, director. I don't know. Life's weird. But that's the video for this week. If you enjoyed it, subscribe. Yeah, subscribe. And until then, I'll see you again next week. I usually say stay happy, stay coding, but in this video I'll say stay happy, stay managing. All right, bye everyone.